We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? You're knowing what you are wanting. It is an evolving thing. You are coming to the point that you are enjoying the new desires, those fresh new feelings of desire that have not yet been fulfilled. In fact, you have no earthly idea of how in the world you are ever going to achieve it, but you are still joyful in the idea of it. Yes. We push a little further each time. It is pleasing for you, always pleasing for us, but pleasing for you when you reach that place that you are so remembering the eternalness of your being, that when contrast or variety gives birth to a desire within you, and you may even look around and see others who are living the fulfillment of the desire that you hold, and you're not living it yet, but you are taking such pleasure from the idea of the desire that the interim between your birthing it and your achieving it in terms of physical manifestation is a joyful time, not an unpleasant time. When you reach that place, when you feel satisfied with where you are and eager for that which is coming, you are in the perfect vibrational stance to allow the evolving life experience that you have always planned on. You knew when you made the decision to come forth into these bodies that you are an eternal being. You knew that this was not a one-shot deal where you would come forth and hopefully achieve all that you were supposed to achieve in order to give yourself the right marks on the right charts for all of eternity. Instead, you understood that you are an eternal consciousness, and this was an experience of co-creating, a time where you could extract from your environment your own personal ideas and preferences. And you understood before you got here, and you still understand that non-physical part of you that exists, that as that new idea is born within you, that idea or that preference or that desire or that wanting, you can call it anything you want, but it is a preference that is born, that is known to you on many levels of your being. Sometimes it is a subtle preference, so subtle that you couldn't even articulate it. Sometimes it is a powerful preference, so powerful that it's all you want to talk about. But when that desire is born, no matter how great or small, no matter how speakable or unspeakable it is, when it is born within you, you send out a vibrational request, a desire, whether you talk about it in words or not. And in the moment that that preference is born, Source begins to answer that preference, and all things, heaven and earth, begin to move to accommodate you in that preference. So that's step one and step two of the best creative process that we have ever known. It is an eternal process. It is a universal process. It says, when you ask, it is given. But we are here more to talk about the third step in this three-step process, because even though all of you are always asking, and even though all of you are always being answered, all of you are not always letting in what you're asking for. And that's what this gathering is about. We call it the art of allowing, and it is literally about tuning yourself vibrationally to allow what you're asking for. Tuning yourself to allow your connection with who you really are. Tuning yourself to allow your alignment with who you really are, so that you can really be you. It's nice when you let yourself really be you. And by letting yourself really be you, what we mean is practicing thoughts and paying attention to the way they feel, because that's the way you know what your vibration is. You are much more vibrational beings than you are flesh, blood, and bone beings. But you are so accustomed to seeing yourself and feeling yourself in the visceral, physical sense that sometimes you forget that you are vibrational beings. And you forget about paying attention to your frequency, or to whether you're on frequency with your source energy. You understand that with your radio. You don't set your dial out in some nebulous number and expect to receive something specific like 98.6. If you want to hear what's being broadcast from 98.6, you set your tuner to that same reception mode. And you can tell when you're on signal because the sound comes through loud and clear. It's a pleasurable experience. And you can tell when you've got a little static in there, when you're not right on signal. And so your emotions are those indicators for you. That's how you set your tuner to know whether you're on signal with who you really are. And the better you feel, the more on signal you are. And the worse you feel, the more off signal you are. It really is that simple. So when you hold a desire for something, a personal selfish preference, which is a wonderful thing because that's why you're here. It's why this consciousness and this personality is focused here, so that you can achieve your personal desires and summon source energy through your creative mechanism for the expansion of the universe and for your personal experience of joy. So when you identify something as your desire, that object, that state of being, that relationship, that whatever it is, has a vibrational frequency. And Source knows it, understands it, has assumed it, has concluded it from all of the intentions and preferences that you've been launching all along. In other words, every time you have an experience, you amend many of your former preferences. You can't live a moment without having an experience that causes an addition to, oh yeah, you would say, if you were talking to Source Energy with words, oh yes, I just remembered I'd like this too. A constant amending of your preference. And it is so succinctly and uniquely understood. You are so loved and so known and so understood and so answered that in the moment that you have an experience that causes a preference to shoot from you, Source Energy goes to work on lining up circumstances and events with the help of law of attraction to accommodate you in unspeakable ways. But you have to be somewhere in the vibrational proximity of what you're asking for to begin seeing any evidence of it. In other words, you can't be in a jam where you don't have enough money, where you're radiating desires all over the place, specific desires for more money or for means to get more money. Source hears it and answers it and lines things up, but you can't be in the place where you're so discouraged about not having enough money that you can allow in money. In other words, you can't be in that place of discouragement and be on signal for the receiving of what you're asking for. And that's really irritating to our physical friends. We hear you all the time because you keep saying things like, I know I'm in a terrible state of being, but couldn't you just grant me this one exception? Couldn't you just give it to me anyway? And then as soon as I get it, I'll be happy, I promise. And we say, we know you will be happier when everything that you think you want is coming into place. But we want you to be so in love with the process and so aware of the laws and so sure of your ability to achieve anything that you desire that it takes that pain or angst out of this interim place where your vibration's just a little off kilter. We want so much for you to begin practicing the achievement of vibrational alignment with who you are, and it is ever so much more helpful if you do it when you're not in a jam than when you wait until you are in a jam and then try to do it. In other words, sometimes people will have a sickness in their body and they will say, Abraham, how can I achieve wellness? And we say, well, you have to pretend wellness. You have to assume the idea of wellness. And they say, well, how could I possibly do that? I'm sick. They've diagnosed it. I've got labels pinned all over my body. How can I feel well when I'm so sick? And we say, well, you got to get your mind off being sick. That's the first thing. Well, how can I get my mind off being sick when I'm so sick? And we say, you're right. It would have been easier for you to tune yourself to the idea of wellness from a place of wellness than it is from a place of sickness. And you say, oh, now you tell me. Now you tell me. We say, well, you've been knowing that on many levels all along because your emotions have been letting you know that this thought of anger or this thought of fear or this thought of frustration or this thought of overwhelmment, in the icky way that it felt, it was your indicator that you were not on signal with that which is wellness. But because you trained yourself to be willing to endure negative emotion, you sort of get merit badges on how much negative stuff you can endure. I'm vigilant, I'm valiant, I can keep a stiff upper lip, I can endure the pain, I can put my hand on a hot stove and even though it's sizzling and frying, I'll hold it there because I'm tough, I'm strong. And we say, you're not using your guidance system in the best possible way. And if you continue to endure the negative emotion, it's going to get so impactful that it might be hard for you to get your mind off the troubles that you've manifested as a result of not listening to your guidance system sooner. But then we say no worries, because it does not matter how far from your connection you stray, In other words, how bankrupt you are, how sick you are, how deep into depression you are. It does not matter how far from Source you are. You can never disconnect from Source, and Source is always aware of you. And by reaching for a thought that feels better, even if it only feels a little better, that is the way back out into the light. Now, our strong encouragement, especially for the majority of you who are not in that place of desperation, our encouragement is you start making a decision that you're going to practice the vibrations that feel really, really good until they are so normal to you that then it's very easy for you to return to them at any time that you want to if there should be something in your experience that causes you to stray from your connection a little bit. In other words, most of you are offering the majority of your vibration in response to what you're seeing. And so as you look around into your world, because there are those you care about, there are many who are having experiences that you would wish them not to have. As you are looking into their experiences and you are recognizing that they are living maybe less than joyful experiences, certainly you are going to feel the impact of your gaze. But if you've been practicing your alignment with who you really are, it is our promise to you that you will return to your alignment quickly and easily, because that is who you really are. You really are joyful beings who feel stable and secure, who know you are loved and who are easily able to love. You are pure positive energy in these physical bodies. You are strong and stable and secure and all-knowing, and you have come forth into this human physical experience, in this leading-edge time-space reality, not to fix a world that is broken, because this world is not broken. You have come forth into this time-space reality for the joy of the adventure, of the exploration, and the conclusion of your own personal new ideas and preferences, understanding that all that is moves in concert with you for the expansion of this time-space reality, as well as your personal individual feeling of accomplishment and experience, as well as the expansion of the universe. In other words, we are all in this together. It is a glorious leading-edge experience that you are upon. You are leading-edge creators, here to experience the joy of creating. And that is the most significant thing that we are wanting to impart to you. We want to say to you at the beginning of a gathering like this, so you got a desire that isn't fulfilled yet and you're still joyful, and we want you to unequivocally, without any hesitation, say, exactly right, Abraham. There are things I want that have not yet manifested, and I am not in pain about it. In fact, I'm in joyous anticipation of it. Look at the little ones. That's how they feel. They are so eager. They want to learn to walk, but they're not bummed out that they can't. They're looking forward to teeth, but they don't bemoan the fact they don't have any yet. They will prefer solid food, but the liquid is fine for now. In other words, they're looking forward to their learning of vocabulary and their ability to begin to explain themselves. And they're looking forward to being able to move about more freely, to get out from under the bondage of mom and dad. In other words, they are looking forward to everything that is before them, but they are not feeling lack about where they stand. And you may say, well, they don't know enough yet. And we say, they do know enough. They know enough that their exposure to their experience is going to spark within them enough desire to take them to the next logical place. And you do too. You watch your little ones as they come forth. Esther's watching her little granddaughter Kate, and she is amazed at the speed with which she expands. From one picture to the next, as Esther is receiving them daily through the satellite dish, Esther can see stronger confidence, greater clarity, stronger determination. In other words, on a day-to-day basis, her expansion about what she can do, and more importantly, what she desires to do, is notable day to day. And sometimes we hear our human friends say, oh yes, in those early years there's huge learning and huge expansion. And we say, it never changes for any of you. In fact, your exposure to life experiences becomes more the longer you live. And the longer you live and the more experiences you have, the more you are fine-tuning your desires. In other words, your lives are not supposed to be good when you're young and get bad as you get older. Your lives should continue to expand and become richer and fuller and more and more and more and more and more and more delicious, because You are privy to more information, to more experience. You have more opportunity to give birth to more desires. And Source never stops powerfully answering your desires.